I wanted to present to you my author, Jennifer Strong. In looking through all the different authors, I need to be honest, had really no familiarity with um, any nonfiction creative writing authors prior to taking this class. And so in my search, there was so many to choose from and very different styles of writing, crafts, length, topics. And immediately I was drawn to Jennifer Strong. Um, I felt this instant connection, really, with one of her articles in particular titled Why So Many Mothers Feel Like Failures. And it was really this article that I read by Jennifer that really started to help me with my braided essay. I was searching for some themes and recalled Jennifer's theme about feeling inadequate, feeling as if at parenting I was failing. And so I was drawn to it simply by the title. So, one of the things I want to emulate when I do my own final project is to get that catchy title where it's a little bit ambiguous and people are kind of wondering, like, what is this all about? Sounds like something I might find interesting and relevant to my life. Um, in addition to writing this particular article, Jennifer has written several articles. She has written for the New York Times. She currently writes for The Atlantic. She's a staff writer there. She writes a lot of opinion pieces. She's been publishing since 2018. She's also a book critic for the Times and has done a lot of different articles. In particular, she covers politics, social sciences, and mental health. So, right there, being a teacher myself, I felt like those were some things that I could find connection with. She's also an author of a best selling book called All Joy and No Fun: The Paradox of Modern Parenthood. So, Jennifer and I were, if we were at a coffee shop, I would find time to sit with her and just kind of rack her mind because she just seems like a very interesting person. And as far as her topics, I felt very connected to that. And so I want to tell you a little bit more in particular about this article that she wrote called Why So Many Mothers Feel Like Failures. And it's really focusing on that time when the pandemic was causing everyone to stay at home. Students were being homeschooled and doing online learning. And she starts with this way of really presenting to you a question, and a question that when you're done reading the article, you don't really know, did Jennifer give me the answers to that question? And that's part of her crafting style. She wants for you to really ponder upon some deep thinking questions and maybe listen to a few things that she has to say. She does bring in statistics, she does bring in some historical references, definitely brings a lot of humor, but at the end, you're left wondering, what else do I need to find to know more about this topic? Because she's going to start the digging for you, but you're really the one that has to finish going through the trenches. And so she's got a really great way of kind of that first one liner really hooking the reader. She has a lot of one liners in there that kind of are woven at the right time. So she talks a little bit about some heavy topics. Feeling inadequacy as a parent is a pretty heavy topic. And so she brings its relevancy with some really catching one liners. Like, for example, one of them that I was drawn to, she says, Mothers are losing it. And I for surely am. And I know my friends and their friends, and we all feel that that's pretty much what motherhood feels like you're going to lose it at any given moment. Um, and especially during this time of the pandemic. She brings a lot of relevancy to the idea that we've never been thrown in this situation. And through her writing, you really feel like you were in her home. She has this way of really being very personal, where you feel like you could have this conversation with her and she wouldn't remind you that she's a staff writer for the New York Times or that she has a published book. Seems very down to earth, something that I want to emulate when it's my turn to also write my article. I want it to be very relevant, and Jennifer Strong had a really good way, and it felt like it was very easy for her to do. So during this pandemic, she's talking about how, as parents, we had the opportunity to reshape our kids' lives and their worldview, and that she felt that she wasn't doing much of that when she was given that opportunity. her humor comes through. She says, "We don't have any new family traditions. We fight over puzzles and board games we're supposed to be playing with, and our extended family hates Zoom." And so, in emulating that in my final project, I want to be able to draw upon relevancy with everyone else as well. And I think we had that moment where it was like, okay, we're supposed to be enjoying this family time that we're never really given. And then, oof, we have all this family time that we have way too much time together. And so, Jennifer has a crafting style where she keeps it very light and humorous, though the topic is pretty deep and self-absorbent at times, right? Kind of reflective of what we're doing. And so she keeps a great sense of humor throughout her writing. And I think that's a craft that not a lot of writers often can do with such heavy topics. She does reference other writers, and so kind of brings a sense of community, like you're not alone. She's not dictating to you why you should get out of your funk and stop feeling like you're inadequate. She just kind of brings it to light when she says, as the novelist Faye Weldon told The Independent in 1991, it's only when you have children that you realize you're not a nice person at all. And so it's through this crafting of her style that she brings in this humor right when it gets really heavy and you're like, whoa, this is a lot, and you're starting to feel like you yourself have a lot of inadequacy, she'll bring this sense of humor to kind of bring a lightheartedness and tone to the writing, which I also want to emulate when I'm talking about my own article. She does it with humor, but she also backs up her information with studies. She's really good about drawing in statistics. She talks about historical references and studies, and she gives credit to those in which she's referencing their studies. So that you have a little bit of background knowledge about them so that you can see that why they were part of the article. And I think as a writer, that's something that I want to strive to do as well in my final project. So when I'm talking about my relationship with my own son and country music, I want to be able to realize that I'm not the only person ever writing about a mother and her teenage son and their strained relationship, and how music can kind of be something that kind of connects the two of them. And so in Jennifer Strong's article, she references several times the president of the Family and Work Institute, and she names this person as Ellen Galinsky. And she talks about how Galinsky has done different types of studies, and that mothers for lots of decades have asked that same question: am I doing enough? Can I do more? And she doesn't always give us the answers to, if you're feeling like a failure, here's what you can do. She really wants the reader to walk away with this idea like, I have some homework to do, some self reflection. She's giving me some things to think about. She's not giving me the answers. She's really just making me think, maybe I need to flip the script a little bit. And so she has a way of bringing in some positive elements where you don't feel like she's dictating to you, here's what you need to do if you're feeling like a failure. She really does bring in some flipping of that whole script, is maybe we need to look at this time of growth and conflict and feel like, because this has been presented to us, we have these opportunities for repair and for regrowth. And so she doesn't tell you how you're supposed to repair this or make things better, but she does leave you with that thought of, I want more. And so she has a really good way of wrapping up her article with leaving you with the pondering takeaway that's hers and only meant for her, but for you to seek your own. She also is as funny as hell. She has a great Twitter account, Jennifer Strong. She's not somebody to be quiet. She's loud. She's raw. She's a little bit sarcastic. My funny thing, and I wanted to end with this, is that she writes, feel free to DM me all you want. I'm 53. I'm many, many exits past giving a damn. And so if you can take that sense of humor and kind of see that she's somebody who is really going to make you delve deep into some pretty heavy conversations with yourself, but in a way where you feel like it's therapeutic. And so I hope that you'll read the article called Why So Many Mothers Feel Like Failures. And it is a deep read, but she also has one called Happiness Won't Save You. Really, really good about how studies have been done. And in particular, she highlights one case study about lottery winners and how happiness didn't come in the form that they thought it would with winning the lotto. So, a totally different topic, but just wanted to throw it out there for you. A great writer, and very relevant and humorous for sure.